CC. IGP, I don't know the security designation, Inspector General of Police, Seedy. Do we say Excellency or Honorable?
No.
Just, Inspector General of Police, Seedy Mukhtar Cisse. It's your fault, It's called the last minute. Come. Mea culpa, apologies, I repeat again. The Inspector General of Police, Seedy Mukhtar Touray. Commissioner of Police, Mustafa Ndong, in charge of administration, ASP, Mohamed Musa Sisaho, Police PRO, DPS Fabala Kinte, DPS Technical, Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting, and Madam Naomi Williams, DPS Administration, Administrator of Information, Media and Broadcasting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Gambia Government press conference, the routine engagement to update the citizens on the deliveries of the government. As you can see, the last cabinet received, one of the previous cabinet sessions that I was talking about, was focusing on delivery. So the social contract is about, always coming and delivering. And the Honorable Minister will give us an update of government's activities since the last press conference, to be followed by presentation by IGP Seedy Mukhtar Touray, and then interventions with Q&A. We hope there's going to be a precise, productive session. Honorable Minister, welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, the IGP of Police, the IG of Police, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Seedy Mukhtar Touray, you and your team. Good morning, and thank you very much for accepting our invitation to participate in this very important press conference. Good morning, members of the press, also those watching from afar, and also those watching from home here in the Gambia. As part of our efforts to popularize government agenda, to bring government close to the people, to ensure reliable, accurate, authentic information disseminated in a proactive manner, the Ministry of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services organizes this Monday press conference where I invite government agencies, departments, or ministries to come and interface with the media to discuss their vision, but also their achievements, but also their challenges, but also to give the media the chance, the opportunity to ask questions, relevant questions that the public might want to know. And I've always maintained that the media is a critical conduit between the government and the people. The IG of Police cannot go to every household, every hamlet, every village, every town, every ward, every constituency of this country, every region, to discuss his vision, but also what the police are doing insofar as the prevention and the solving of crime is concerned, but also to ensure that people and property are protected. But he can do it through the media. When he speaks to the media, this can be disseminated far and wide to the public. This is why we organize this press conference. And today we are happy that we have the IG of Police and his team to come and talk to the Gambian people through the media. But before we start, I'd like to give some updates from government. There has been a lot of updates, but I'll just look at the critical ones. One obviously is the celebration of the independence, Gambian 60th anniversary, so-called Diamond Jubilee, which was celebrated in grand style at the Makati Square on the 18th of February 2025. The president was in attendance, obviously, and he was host to two presidents, the president of Senegal, President Jomai Faye, and the president of Guinea-Bissau, President Omarou Embalo. It was a grand occasion, was a very sublime celebration, very interesting, just an update. Now, the other one is that yesterday, the president launched the EU Youth Empowerment Project in the tourism and creative industries. This is supposed to ensure that the tourism sector is competitive, it is inclusive, but also sustainable. This will provide opportunities for young people, particularly in the creative industries, to bring in products into the tourism sector, and also diversify tourism. If you could recall, in 2023, the president launched the Labour Act, which promises to provide 150,000 jobs. And this is part of the initiative to not only provide jobs for young people in the country, particularly because the project is focusing on women and youth, but also to ensure that we boost our tourism sector. The Ministry of Finance also and Economic Affairs hosted members of the African Development Bank's AFD higher management during a working visit this week. They briefed the President on their engagements in the Gambia and the positive impact that this has had on the lives and livelihoods of Gambians. Now, in another development, the Ministry of Health also received 30 new ambulances from Riders for Health to add to the existing fleet of the ambulances of the Ministry of Health. Currently, the global figure countrywide of the number of ambulances that is under the purview of the ministry or under the service of the Ministry of Health is over 170 ambulances. That is what the Ministry of Health has. Now, these new 30 new ambulances will add to that fleet to ensure efficiency in health service delivery. Now, the head of the international idea, Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers, also was in town this week and paid a courtesy call to His Excellency the President to discuss the current draft constitution, which will be tabled in Parliament next month for it to be discussed by lawmakers and passed into our new constitution. He's here to consult with all stakeholders, including the opposition, the government, but also civil society and the media, to help towards our desire to bring in a new constitution. There is also a press release from the Ministry of Trade clarifying the importation of wheat flour. Just to be short, the clarification seeks to ensure and for it to be known to all Gambians that there is no embargo on the importation of flour into this country as being widely spread on social media. That there is no embargo, and that is what this press statement was seeking to clarify. Finally, the President also, as part of the celebrations of Diamond Jubilee, the President has been very busy in inaugurating and commissioning new projects, but also laying foundation stone for new projects. If you recall, last week also, the President commissioned the new 225 kVA substation. It's a very modern energy infrastructure here at Jabang. At the same time also, in the same weekend, the President also commissioned the new Batil-Harding Highway, which is now done, the 22-kilometer Batil-Harding Highway, but also use the opportunity to lay foundation stone for the third phase, which will now see the side and the service roads being built, two on this side and two on this side, a flyover bridge at Sukura Jabang traffic light, new roundabouts, but also security cameras to ensure public safety, but also to ensure road traffic safety. So these are, there will be more inaugurations. Today the President is in Kunkujanketa this morning to inaugurate new classroom blocks in that particular community. The President also inaugurated new blocks at the shelter home here in Bakote last week Friday, both for the old people's home, but also for the orphanage as well. So as we go, the whole 2025 will be dedicated to commissioning new projects that were undertaken by the government, but also lay foundation stone for projects that will be implemented by the government. Remember, the President has made a pledge that 2025 is a year of delivery, and the government has promised to deliver, particularly in critical projects like water infrastructure is currently being expanded across the country. Communities that had not had water before, clean running potable water, now they are having access to water, but also electricity expansion in line with our goal to achieve universal access to electricity by end of 2025. Communities are benefiting from this electricity expansion as well. In addition to education as well, to ensure every Gambian, no matter where you are, even in the last village of this country, you'll have access to quality education. We are building, the President is building classrooms. Over 6,000 classrooms have been built since the coming into power of His Excellency the President. Healthcare facilities have been expanded as well. That is also ongoing. And also road infrastructure. We built over 1,000 kilometers of roads, close to 1,000 kilometers of roads, over almost 910 kilometers of roads. It's either already being built, completed, or is currently being built. This is all in line with the President's agenda to modernize and transform this country. So those are the updates from the government, and I'll hand over back to the Chair. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting, Dr. Ismail Assise. It's really impressive, and I'm impressed by the launch of this project on creative industry, which is closer to my heart many young people have been talking about working in the music, performance and film, cinema, pottery, and all other areas. And this project is really timely. And then during the NICOF, National Youth Conference, one of the recommendations that the youths, presented to the government was to advance the creative economy. And I'm glad. And apologies that I've been talking about CISE. Coincidentally, I spent the whole week working on the Masani CISE project. No wonder the name CISE is still being echoing in my mind. I think it's timely. Thank you so much. I would like to transition to the IGP. We're following the progress of the ongoing security sector reform. A lot of development has been taking place, and then the Inspector General of Police, Seedy, Touray, will take us through. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Babuka. Thank you. The Honorable Minister for Information, Media and Broadcasting, Dr. Ismaila Cisse, here with his principal deputies, the two Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Technical and Admin, my colleagues, senior officers from Gambia Police Force, Commissioner Mustafa Ndong in charge of administration, and the Press and Public Relations Officer, Musa Sisao, members of the fourth estate, the media, I greet you all. Good morning to everybody. Assalamu alaikum. I am invited here by the Honorable Minister, and I consider it very timely, very strategic, in the sense that of recent there are so many information that have been peddled, not only in the social media, but even in our local media outlets. And I think it's a very good opportunity for me, in my capacity as the Inspector General of Police, to possibly try to clarify some of those informations and to update the general public, the Gambian populace, and other residents that are in the country here about the current projects and programs and the transformative agenda ongoing in furtherance to the ongoing security sector reform that the country is witnessing. And there we go. 25th February 2025. In recent years, the Gambia Police Force, GPS, has advanced significantly by focusing on modernization, capacity enhancement, and international relationship. Here I want to catalog some of the achievements the force has undergone. Strategic vision and direction. Considering the past authoritarian legacies and the need to address them, the security sector reform objectives, a new strategic vision was crafted in very clear terms to guide personnel from the IGP to the most junior personnel on our day-to-day police duties. The Gambia Police Force strategic vision embedded in the strategic plan 2024 to 2028 and the Gambia Police Force doctrine is to be professional, accountable public service, respecting human rights and the rule of law. Key elements in the statement. Professionalism. This signifies that every police officer must do their utmost their duty not only in conformity with the laws, but must also do so effectively and efficiently to satisfy the security and safety needs of the populace. Strategy. The Professional Standards and Human Rights Unit monitors through announced and unannounced spot checks to rectify and, where necessary, escalate issues of unprofessionalism to the Office of the IGP for redress. They report to the Office of the IGP directly to minimize any possible interference. They also receive complaints against police officers and conduct impartial investigations. Naturally, the supervisors are also responsible to ensure compliance to professional standards, and minor breaches of the code of conduct are dealt at their level. accountability. GPF is more responsive to the concerns and advices of both the governance and oversight institutions now than before. The Ministry of Interior and other ministries, Parliament and departments can all attest to our cooperation with the civilian authorities. Oversight institutions like the National Human Rights Commission and the Ombudsman can all attest to the level of our cooperation in this area. Human rights and the rule of law. Advocacies and trainings on human rights and rule of law have been ongoing to create awareness among the ranks and files of the force. Partners, particularly NHRC, have contributed a lot in this area. We are committed to making sure that our officers are not only human rights compliant, but also become defenders of human rights. Strategy. Our ambition to become defenders of human rights is what, amongst others, what informs the conceptualization of the model police stations. Those who may have visited these stations can attest that they are more human rights friendly, and going forward, we will maintain that standard or improve on it. Happy to note that, for the first time in the history of Gambia Police Force, one of the preconditions for re-entry through re-engagement or re-enlistment is the applicant must have a clean human rights record, and this must be established before approval is granted. Transformative agenda. Transformation is a process, and Gambia Police Force is strategically and systematically approaching it to ensure it is achieved in a sustainable manner. In this regard, the following are given prominence: legal and regulatory framework. It is common knowledge that we have been relying on the Police Act as one of the primary legal framework for Gambia Police Force, and this instrument is more than 60 decades old. Therefore, we saw the need to develop a new one which is reflective of the current realities as far as security and general policing governance is concerned. In addition, we have developed and now operationalizing more than 20 legal and regulatory frameworks in the form of policies that were in existence previously. This includes and are not limited to the following: the Strategic Plan of 2024-2028, the Police Doctrine, Code of Conduct for Gambia Police Force, Arrest and Detention Procedures Manuals, the Recruitment and Selection Policy tested during the selection of the current police badge on training, strengthening of internal governance structures, the Promotion Board, the Training and Development Committee, otherwise known as TRADOC, the Procurement Committee, the Contracts Committee have all been set up to enhance transparency, fairness, accountability, and the judicious use of the meager resources at our disposal. For instance, the Promotion Board, which for the first time during the last promotion of senior officers conducted mid-2024, included senior officials of the Personnel Management Office in the process. For the TRADOC, which is the Training and Development Committee, it does not only examine issues of training and capacity building from a technical point of view to advise the Office of the IGP, but also supports our human resources to ensure the availability of priorities on training based on identified gaps. Capacity building. Trainings conducted. Members of the Gambia Police Force continue to enjoy training programs locally and internationally in the various areas of policing. In the year under review, which is 2024 alone, 3,402 officers benefited from solid training programs such as organized crime, investigations, human trafficking, human rights and related matters, gender and leadership, public order management, crowd control, anti-corruption, to name just a few. We are not at ground zero when it comes to competency in terms of skills and knowledge, but there is need to regularly maintenance to retain and keep up pace with the crime trend. Our key challenge is knowledge and dissemination and sustainability That is why the creation of the standard police training facility remains a top priority for us. Introduction of tailor-made police development programs for Gambia Police Force. New curriculum and training manual. Since the inception, we have been relying on training manual for the training of our recruits that is as old as the force itself. We now have a new training curriculum and manuals which are reflective of the current policing demands and standards, and highly reflective of the human rights and the rule of law issues. The current batch ongoing training are being trained in accordance to the prescriptions in these manuals and the curricula. Diploma in Police Science Program. This is a new training course designed and developed in collaboration with the University of the Gambia for Gambia Police Force staff. And I'm happy to say here, the Honorable Minister for Information, Media and Broadcasting is the main architect for police officers to benefit from this training. But we still bank on him to support us to get the requisite funding to support this program. The program will be administered and run collaboratively with the University of the Gambia as soon as funding is available. Forensic capabilities. A significant milestone in the establishment of the first fully functional forensic DNA laboratory, enhancing investigative efficiency and expediting case resolutions. We will continue to enhance our forensic capability through acquiring more equipment and training. Equipment enhancements. To ensure the effectiveness of our traffic department and to reduce road traffic accidents, crashes, the Gambia Police Force has distributed 60 operational motorbikes plus some vehicles to the Highway Patrol Unit. The Police Intervention Unit and some police stations of the Gambia Police Force accordingly benefited from this. Additionally, in 2024 alone, 132 pieces of office furniture have been allocated to various police stations to improve the working conditions of our colleagues. International recognition, cooperation, and partnership. The Gambia Police Force was honored with the Best National Police Force of West Africa 2023-2024. This award reflects the commitment to the excellence in law enforcement and security management. The GPF continues to enjoy fruitful partnership with other international law enforcement agencies such as the Senegalese Police, National Police, Ghana Police, the Turkish, British, Rwanda National Police, China, and the list goes on. Gambia is not an island and therefore needs to cooperate with other counterparts to particularly combat transnational organized crime and also exchange best practices in policing. Infrastructure. At least 7 more model police stations are planned to be built in this year, 1 in each 6 regions of the country. One will be built in Brikama, Yarasoma, Basse, Sami Karantaba, Makamasire, Farafenye, and elsewhere. These stations, like the 2 in Serekunda and Bundung, will be the standards going forward. Crime and crime prevention measures. Strengthening of robust patrols. We have recently intensified our patrols to deter criminality. Deployment plan. To effectively combat crime, we are re-strategizing our posture countrywide with the help of our first ever deployment plan. With this plan being rolled out, there will be enhanced visibility of police officers countrywide and enhanced access to police services. Before mid-March 2025, the public will begin to see this happen, and we are confident it will lower crime rates significantly. Way forward. New police facility. This is needed to sustainably build capacity in a more cost-effective manner. Enhancing forensic and ballistic capabilities, The Gambia Police Force plans to collaborate with government and international partners to provide specialized training for officers and procure advanced tools for forensic units, improving mobility and infrastructure. Efforts are underway to address mobility challenges by distributing additional motor vehicles to major police stations. Plans are also in the offing to include constructing 6 additional model police stations, as earlier mentioned, in various regions. This is being supported by our international partners, mainly the GIZ. Digital transformation. The imminent launch of the Police Integrated Information Management System, PIIMS, aims to digitalize workflows and records management, enhancing operational efficiency as well. International cooperation, strengthening partnership with international law enforcement agencies is a priority for us. Recent engagements include discussions with Rwanda National Police to share experience and strategies for addressing evolving security challenges. My visit there early last year, to the tail end of the year, availed me the opportunity to have a very fruitful discussion with my Rwandan counterpart, where offers were being made to Gambia Police Force on gratis to send our colleagues there to study in various areas way up to doctorate level. This opportunity, we intend to exploit it, and hopefully all goes well. By June of this year, we will send the first batch or first cohorts of police officers to go to Rwanda National Police Academy to undergo various courses in that area. Having said this, I thank you for your kind attention, and your presence is appreciated. Thank you very much. Yes,
Thank you, IGP, for that impressive rendition and taking us through the visible measures and impact of the security sector reform. I'm particularly impressed by the capacity building and the attractiveness of the police force. Most of our students now, after UTG, some of them join the police force. This is very encouraging. And they're also writing their research thesis on the security sector reform on various activities of the project. And we're really impressed with that. And parallel to that, we also see police officers, while in active service, they are given the opportunity to improve themselves. So continuous capacity building in a changing world is something that is impressive. And I'm glad that the police is at par. As you say, the Gambia is not an island, and the police is actually following the trend, the global trend, in making sure that we have a modern, responsive police force, especially in this world of social media, where there's camera everywhere, there's open visibility, and the police is responding accordingly. On that note, I would like to open the floor for questions. Feel free to mention your name, media organization, and to whom the question is addressed to.
Any questions?
And people posting questions through the social media handles, it's also possible, it's an option.
Thank you so much, IGP. Sorry, but I came late. I don't know much about that. But you can ask any question regarding about the security force, right? Regarding about the police. Okay. Thank you so much. My question goes to. My name is Mata Jase. I'm working from the Fado Network. My question will go the recent accident happening regarding on social media regarding Binta Njai. So many people are saying that people are intimating Binta Njai for question and why living Bahum, who do the acts, and saying something on the Kiankas, example for saying, naming those people. What can you tell us regarding about these two accidents happening right now between Binta and Bahum that you just released, just not let you go on a bill regarding about the comment that you make in Kian?
Thank you very much, Mr. Jase. Well, I think you wanted to use the word intimidating, not intimate, right? If I can correct you here with your understanding. Well, first and foremost, let me clarify the point of being said she is being intimidated. There is no intimidation here. and my colleague, Assistant Superintendent of Police Binta, the little I know in her will never say to anybody that she's been intimidated. So let me clarify that point. 2, I am not aligning myself with the remarks made by Mr. Baum. It's very much uncalled for, very unnecessary, and I don't agree with those remarks. However, moving forward, everything that takes water, be it a human being, even animals, like ruminants, they make mistakes. And some of those mistakes are the reason why when a goat or a herd of cattle are crossing the road, you will see a car hit them. That's miscalculation. I want to believe when Mr. Bahum realized his mistake, he brought down the write-up and profoundly apologized to the people of Kia and to the entire nation. I consider that a goodwill gesture from him. Now, coming back to the issue of my colleague Binta, the police force is being regulated by various instruments. We're now talking of the Police Act, we're talking of our Code of Conduct, and we're also talking of the General Orders and the Civil Service Rules and Regulations, which does not permit serving members of the force to talk or interfere with the internal politics of the nation. It is the sovereign rights of every individual police officer to be affiliated to a political party. But this must not be manifested so long as you are putting on our. I hope you get my point. That's my position on that. Thank you.